everyone, Sully here. In this video, we're going to talk about how to get Hellfires Embers, which was of course added here in Season 25 as a season theme, along with the Soul Shards. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to get them, why do we want them, and the best way to farm them, so how you can get the most amount of them per hour when you're playing D3. So Hellfires Embers is a consumable just like Remlatni's gift. So you can see in my inventory here, I have about 180, and I also have about 100 or so Remlatni's gift. Now the drop chance of the Hellfires Ember is about 6 times as great as for the Remlatni's gift. So basically, for every one Remlatni's gift, you should find 6 Hellfires Embers. Now there aren't a specific way to actually get them. It's not like with some of the Soul Shards where you can go and kill one specific boss and it guarantees a drop, but there are of course ways we can maximize the amount of drop chance we get from them. So the Hellfires Embers is like every other legendary, they drop just randomly. Now they will only drop if you're level 70, which basically means that the best way to actually get them is farming GR 90s or above, because that will then guarantee you the most amount of loot for one greater with. So as long as you're doing GR 90, you'll actually get the highest chance possible of getting Hellfires Embers. Now if you really want them, of course you could make a speed build that's just farming GR 90s in about a minute. I have one of those builds I can show you later. But of course you also want to maximize your amount of XP per hour, so maybe doing, let's say, 110s or 120s in about 2 to 3 minutes will be the most efficient way for you to farm Hellfires Embers and also get a good amount of XP per greater rift. So why do we want Hellfires Embers? So basically Hellfires Embers are used to upgrade our Soul Shards, and as you know, Soul Shards are a very important part of Season 25 as they give a massive damage boost to our characters, and they can roll a lot of different stats, and they can also be very varied in terms of what they actually roll within those stats. So let's see what happens if you upgrade 3 real quick. By the way, if you want to upgrade them like I do now really quickly, just hold shift when you're upgrading them. So if we hold over, we can of course see what they rolled, and it depends on the build you want. This one has it so when you deal poison damage, enemies take 50% increased damage. This is a really good one. Not a lot of builds that use this one. Now attack speed is not that great. You either want some kind of elemental damage or maybe perhaps some percent damage if you're using a two-hander. This one rolled poison damage. If you're using a poison build and you have the blow up here, this is also a pretty good one. This might be something used on a necromancer, so might be worth holding on to. And the last one here rolled 15% damage. This one is actually not that bad. It rolled 295 damage, 15% damage, and then also the 50% increased damage taken. So I would definitely keep this one. And as you can see by my stats here, it is very important to have as many of these as possible. You have different ones for different situations. So for instance, I have 2 different ones for speed rifts, for speed GRs. I have different ones for pushing. So having a lot of rank 3 gems are really important so you can optimize your damage. I'll just show one more cool trick in case you didn't know. You're going to use the Soul Shards to augment. So let's say you have one of these Soul Shards that are terrible, and you also have of course 3 gems. You can actually use these to augment. So we use our Flawless Royal Emeralds, of course, because you want Dex on it. We're going to use this one here because attack speed, that's usually not that great. And we're going to use our weapon here, and bam, we now have a 125 augments giving us 625 dexterity. You can do this every time with a rank 3 gem. That's just a bonus tip in case you didn't know. So the best way of farming these is actually just using a really good speed build. So if you're really struggling, you could just do GR 90s, but I'd usually recommend farming maybe something like 110s to 120s and then doing it about 2.5 to 3 minutes. If you're looking for those kind of speed builds, I'll definitely recommend checking out the link to the video in the corner now, as I have for both Monk and Demon Hunters, where you have builds that can do about 120s in about 2.5 to 3 minutes. But the most important thing is actually just having good efficiency when you're playing D3. By this I mean just don't stand around in town and doing nothing. You want to do 3 GRs back to back before you then go and identify and salvage and everything. They also do drop a decent amount for T16 rifts, so as long as you're farming T16 rifts, bounties or greaters, this is good. Basically anything where just not standing in town, and you should find a good amount. For my testing, I get 1 Hellfires Ember every like 1 or 2 greaters, so it's actually not that bad, especially because I can do about 20 GRs or so in an hour because I have pretty good efficiency, and I'd also use some good speed builds. If you found this guide useful, make sure to check out the playlist here, as it contains some really good guides for Season 25 and Diablo 3 in general. So click the playlist now and I'll see you there. Peace out.